All right, everyone, we're back on another episode of my 1929 Ford Roadster. If you're new here, I'm Zach. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to Wilson Builds. Today, we're jumping from little job to little job. My main focus is going to be the trunk and kind of getting that finished, getting our carpet down, our side panels in, our battery mounted, and so on and so forth. So hopefully we can get that all done today, and then we have to start prepping the surface for pinstriping. So our friend Sacred Hands Pinstriping can come and do the rest of the car. As you may have seen, he has already done the firewall. So it is time to finish the rest of the car, the dash, and so on and so forth. So not crazy exciting video, I guess, but I figured I'd film it because here we are doing it. And we might run into some issues here and there, so it's worth filming. But anyways, guys, let's get into the video. Okay, first things first, let's get this trunk open. Do I take the lid off? Might be easier, wouldn't it? Yep. It's just two bolts holding it in right now anyways. Now all that junk's out of the way, I'm gonna make our battery mount. So obviously I showed you guys before, this will be for putting the battery cables through, as you can see with our positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of flat bar on top of the battery here, and then we're going to drill some of our ready rod into the floor, bolt underneath the floor, put another bolt washer here, and then we'll put the top on, and obviously there'll be another bolt washer here. If that doesn't make any sense, we'll get into that, but we got to drill our reference point. So I'm going to have to measure our width of our battery and kind of where we want it. Now that we have our holes on both sides, we can go ahead and measure the top of our battery, which is going to be hard with one hand. Give or take probably about 11 inches for our top piece. So let's go get that cut and we'll be right back. So we kind of got that raw look again with our sander. So I'm just going to move the battery right quick. I can actually come out. I can stay. Move it over here. All right. Let's go get this hole drilled and we'll be right back. Okay, so get this back into place, kind of, sort of. And that's how it's gonna kind of look to hold the battery down. Now we just have to go and cut our ready rod. So figure out what length we need. In fact, let's just do this. Down the hole. All right, so we welded our bolts on there. Gonna throw one of our fender washers. I don't know why they're called fender washers, but here we are. You probably put them on fenders. And then we'll go from underneath. Can we do this blindly? I think we can. Nice. And we're gonna put one like so. There you have it, a very easy and effective battery mount. This will be going nowhere. If you go a little bit more into detail, you can always weld tabs right off here, but that won't be necessary, I don't think. But it matches everything, kind of this sanded aluminum look. It matches our panel we did to run our gas line through the floor and the panel we did to run our power lines through the floor. So now we can take this all out, including the gas tank, and get a start on our underlay and our carpet. All right, now that we have everything cleared out of the back, we can go ahead and start laying our underlay and our carpet. This was provided to me by LG Speed and Custom. I mentioned them a lot in this channel, so if you haven't already, go check them out. And yeah, let's start putting our underlay down. And we have a couple of holes and stuff we have to deal with, but that'll be pretty easy. I think I'm gonna glue this down, and we have to put a night switch in here at some point, but I don't have the night switch as of yet. So we might not glue down kind of like forward. I guess like, I don't know, the first foot forward, because I want my night switch somewhere up in here. So yeah, we'll make that work. But let's get this down and start looking at how we can glue it. Lay our carpet in here now and see how it's looking. All right, so the carpet's looking pretty good. We won't need to cut as big of holes as we did below because we have, you know, our little grommet things we're going to be putting through, and that's pretty sweet. So that being said, we could probably just do like an X slit that will pass our cables through where we need it to go. And obviously you might see it on the bottom, but it is what it is. So I think we can probably trim this to size now and glue down the front again. And then let it sit for a bit. I'm gonna put some weights on it. I'm actually gonna be leaving the shop here in the next 10 minutes. So we'll be coming back to this tomorrow. And when we do, hopefully it will all be level and flat. But yeah, let's get it trimmed and started to glue it down. All right, now that we have our carpets down, we made these in one of the, I don't know, maybe the first 5 or 10 videos of the Roadster, and they've been sitting, so they're kind of dusty, but these are the side panels, so we can put them in now. Hopefully they fit. I did try and compensate for like a carpet depth or thickness on the floor, so hopefully they slide in there like they did before. Just like that. I'm gonna clean these up a little bit. I'll get some like fabric cleaner and just rub them all down. But I can't see why we aren't able to put in the gas tank now. So yeah, let's do that. The one thing I actually have to do is find the holes for the gas tank and just poke holes in the carpet. Now that we have our tank in, we can kind of put everything else in. So I'm going to do the gas line to the fuel pump first, then we'll do the battery, and then we'll, I think that'll be basically it, but we can tackle everything else as well. All right, so now that our gas tank and battery are permanently in, our carpet's in, our underlay's in, our side panels are in, we can go ahead and put our gas cap on. So it's 4 bolts to the rear panel and then 1 hose clamp on the little extender hose going into the fuel cell. So let's get that done and check it out. All right, now I'm just gonna move the car backwards because I would like to wire our alternator, even though it's just 1 wire, and get our distributor kind of wired up for the rest. All right, now that I moved the car back, I'm gonna go ahead and start wiring our 1 wire on our alternator and then finish off the distributor wiring as well as our electric choke. We gotta go from our 1 wire terminal here to our starter motor. So I just put an end on this cable and left it long so we can route it the way we need to. So I basically figured out how we're gonna run it, and that's kind of around the corner so we don't go close to the header, down, follow our coolant line, and then brake through here, and then go up there a little bit, and then back down our main power to the starter. So I'm gonna do this up in loom and put another end on this end so we can attach it to the starter motor, and we'll be right back. All right, so we put our loom around our main wire, and then I shrink wrap the loom so there's no way it can come off. So this just looks like a fancy wire, I guess. I guess it is a fancy wire. So let's route it now and bring it down to our starter motor, and then the alternator will be done and we can move on to the distributor and stuff like that. Now that that's all dealt with, we're going to come back to the trunk and put in our night switch. If you don't know what a night switch is, it basically just cuts the connection to the battery. This will be attaching to our ground from the battery and then ground to wherever we decide to ground it. And then when we're not driving the car, you just come back and flick it off. Simple as that. We're not running a clock or anything important in this car, so realistically this is fine. I have one in my 55 and the only downfall is every time I use it, it just restarts the clock. Not a big deal. So I think we're gonna find an appropriate place to put this, which is gonna be kind of sort of near the battery towards the back. So it's really easy to switch. A lot of drag racers and I think the NHRA rules apply that this has to be outside the car. So you see a lot of them, you know, on a tailgate or in the back panel or just right underneath the bumper on a little bracket. But we're not doing that, so we can put it in the trunk. So let's get moving the carpet around, cut a little section out. We'll drill it, put it in. All right, off, on, perfect. So now we can go underneath, connect our battery negative to here, and then come off that and then hit our ground. All right, guys, that's basically all I've got time to do today. So I'm going to call the video there. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support. It truly means a lot. Seeing you guys coming back to the videos and seeing all you new viewers as well. Please, if you liked today's video, don't be afraid to drop a comment saying, basically anything, where you're from, what you liked about the video, what you disliked about the video. Everything helps me learn. So while you're doing that, if you don't mind to like, subscribe, and hit that notification so you know when we're uploading, that is also greatly appreciated. And I just thought I'd let you guys know I am going to the UK for about 10 days in about a week's time. So I might not upload next Friday and the Friday after, but we'll see. We're gonna go try and check out some car museums while we're there and so on and so forth. So if it's relatable to the channel and I can film it, it will be uploaded. If not, I will see you guys in probably 2 weeks, and we'll be back on the Roadster, we'll be back on the Mercury. We got a couple videos brewing up for both cars right now and some more as well. So again, thanks for the support. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.